Nation of Fit and 10, and welcome to day 52, 18 days to go, and hopefully by now you are pedal to the metal. You are continuing to be pedal to the metal, and pedal to the metal really means what? It means just being reasonable daily. What is reasonable? Well, in my humble opinion, it simply means doing what you're supposed to do on a daily basis. Not necessarily anything more, not necessarily anything less, just being consistent with the daily components, which includes you always measuring your food and entering it into your app. Just a reminder, this is the most important and yet underutilized aspect of this challenge, or in general, just managing body weight, body fat levels. Again, if I do it year round, year after year, there is a good reason for it. Today I want to talk to you, sort of on the same note that I've been talking to you about, just on this whole topic. Calories in, the calories out model, is it really accurate when it comes to fat loss, body weight maintenance, body composition change, yada, yada, yada? Is the calories in, calories out model accurate? What is a calories in, calories out model? It just basically states the following. If you have more calories coming in than calories going out, you are going to have some reserve of extra tissue, some kind of extra reserve, probably be more likely to be fat. If you have a balance between calories in and calories out, you will maintain not necessarily body composition, but you should maintain your body weight, but let's just say, to keep things simplistic here, you'll maintain your body weight. And if you take in less calories than calories out, you're going to lose some body weight here, and hopefully the majority of that will be fat. So is this true? Well, yes, of course it's true. Of course it's true, but that doesn't mean there aren't nuances to it. And there's probably a lot that I'm going to say here that you would probably think doesn't include in this, but it certainly does. And so while this is a huge topic, and we could probably talk about this for a couple hours at least, I'm going to try to make this no more than 3 videos, maybe 2. So again, if you want to gain fat, if you want to gain bulk, you need to overconsume calories. If you want to maintain your body weight, you want to have a maintenance level of calories. And if you want to lose body fat, you need to have less calories. So why does it matter what kinds of, to start with, there's many ways we could start this off. Why does it matter what you eat? Why not just focus on calories? Well, I think you probably know by now that protein has a higher thermic effect than carbohydrates does or fat does. In fact, protein's got the highest thermic effect out of all the macros. Next would be carbohydrates, and of course last is fat. And so wait a second, this is not calories in, calories out, because I'm eating the same amount of calories, but then all of a sudden I've got the same calories coming in, but I'm gonna get leaner if I just eat protein. Yes, exactly. You would. You definitely would. If we're talking about calories against equal calories, for example, 2,000 calories worth of protein versus 2,000 calories worth of carbohydrate, but it's still calories in, calories out, because protein has a higher thermic effect. That's why you would lose more than you would. Let's just say assuming that you're in a deficit here, okay? And a lot of you, especially the males on this, would be in a deficit with 2,000 calories. But you'll be in more of a deficit if you just ate protein. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do, but I'm just saying, I'm trying just to make a point here, that it's still calories in, calories out. It's just that protein is causing more calories out than what carbohydrates is. So it's still calories in, calories out. What about weight training, and what about cardio and all this? Well, doesn't it just matter what you're burning when you're in the gym, right? Let's just look at my watch, see how much it says I'm burning. Well, your watch is just an estimate. I mean, of course, everything at the end of the day really is just an estimate. Even when we look at thermic effective foods, it's going to vary from different types of proteins, different types of carbohydrates. And whether you digest food too, this is a whole other topic. But when it comes to exercise, what about weight training versus, like, what if I burn 200 calories weight training versus, say, I burn 200 calories doing some walking outside? Same thing, right? Same thing. Maybe in the moment, sort of, kind of, in terms of what you're burning, but then we have to think about the offshoots of this, right? What happens when you're recovering from weight training? That's going to be more calorie expensive than recovering from a walk. There's not much recovery from a walk. There is certainly a lot of recovery happening from weight training when you weight train. Of course, I mentioned last week about this interesting finding that they discovered with basically fat, liberating more fat during the recovery process from weight training, specifically high intensity weight training. So that's kind of interesting. So there seems to be more of that. Maybe that's going to go more in that EPOC, that excessive post-oxygen consumption that we go through after a hard bout of exercise. Not just weight training, by the way. This does happen after a really hard bout of cardio, but more so after weight training, just because there's that recovery that's happening. So we're burning calories in the moment of doing the exercise, but we're also burning calories when we're recovering, especially from weight training, as I've already said. If you do a hard bout of cardio, yeah, you're gonna get some of that EPOC. And no, I do not have data to back this up, but in theory, and I'm just saying this in theory, it may not be completely accurate. I would think that your EPOC would not be as great even after doing a hard bout of cardio. Yes, you have to replenish those fuel sources, and maybe there's going to be some muscle damage, so there's going to be EPOC going towards that, this extra energy going towards the recovery. But I would argue that not as much as a hard bout of weight training. And of course, not every weight training session is the same. And doing a major leg session is certainly not going to be the same as doing, let's say, just an arm session, not to be confused with upper body. When I'm saying arms, I'm talking about just working your arms. Let's stop there, and I'll talk more about this tomorrow. Let's get to the message of the day. On this day 52, there are no losses. There are only lessons. There are no losses in this. There are only lessons. Even if you don't do as well as you'd hoped, there's still going to be some lessons from this, right? And of course, everybody's making progress, whether you believe you're making progress or not. A lot of you thought you weren't making progress because your weight didn't change that much, but certainly we see a difference in your body composition. That's sort of another topic. But I want you to remember one thing. There are no losses in this. Well, there are losses. You're losing fat. But when it comes to your takeaways from this challenge, there are no losses. There are only lessons. You can only learn from this. Even if you're making a substantial amount of progress, you're still going to learn some lessons from this, I'm sure. There are no losses in any sort of experience that you have. There are only lessons. Make sure you take those away and make sure you put them to good use and you capitalize on those errors that you make. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for love of God, give some gratitude. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. More on calories in, calories out.